Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, fan films, and does Morgan have early onset dementia?
Oh, wait, what?
We'll
What was
find
that?
out all on this week's episode of the Cast Backstage Banter. All right. Morgan, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing very well. How are you, sir?
You don't like being called sir, huh?
That was so very like newscasty, like, and welcome back. Where we're going to be talking about this thing from the 1940s.
Okay. Okay. Man, I'm in a mood today.
I clearly
I have a weird energy today. But for anybody who's
frenetic.
just tuning into us for the first time, I am one of your hosts, Jason Saris.
Morgan Elgerton,
That was very Kermit the
Kermit
Frog.
the Frog. Hey, foreshadowing.
You did the hard thing.
It wasn't even that funny.
No, dude, your arms literally did the Kermit the Frog. I've never seen anybody I don't know if you did it on purpose or not. I hope that you didn't, and it just like that was your natural reaction was to turn into a Muppet because it was amazing. Maybe I'm just having a long day and I'm just tired, but I thought that was great.
Hey, man, I fly by the seam of my pants, my very broken, needs to be fixed seam of my pants all the time. So,
You need to see a tailor, man. Like you
hey,
can't be
man,
having your
if
you don't want
you,
your you can't be having your earring hanging out somewhere. That's no good.
we don't talk about it. Just don't talk about it. If you saw my wardrobe, honestly, you would think that you're friends with the hobo. It's a
I
problem.
speaking of a hobo, so after work I had to book it to my daughter's basketball practice, and we're there. And first they wrote me into the game, which I love basketball. I like playing basketball, but I am in my work clothes. I am already like busted apart because I am just beat from the week. I'm sore. I've had to shovel my driveway, which was full of like 2 feet of snow multiple times, and I hurt. I'm old. I hurt, and I don't want to do any of it. But they asked me to play because they need a body, and I'm like, okay, I'll play. I'll play in the game. So we're sitting there for a very long time, and nothing is starting. And I'm like, I don't understand what's going on. And I'm trying to entertain this group of small young girls while I'm just trying to figure out when we're supposed to start because the coach is talking.
Literally my worst nightmare.
There are worse things, believe me. But finally, they come over and they say, and there is a gentleman here that has some sort of mental illness. He's not causing a problem now. We have notified the local police because he seems like he could get a little disruptive, and we just want somebody close by. But he's allowed to stay for now, just because he's not causing any problems. But I want to
This
make you
story
aware of
ends
it.
with, and he looked exactly like you, Morgan.
He had that
That's
shirt on, and
so the
he
story
said he was
ends.
from Florida. And he was like, Jason, when are we going to record? And I was like, Morgan. No, but this guy was here, and it was like a whole thing, and he was getting louder and weirder, and he was running around the track up top. But ultimately, I had to stick around later just because there's a lot of kids there. There's a lot of kids on the team, of course. And for some reason, I'm like the only parent that sits around and hangs out and watches the practice. A lot of these parents just drop their kids off. And I don't want these kids just like hanging out, and you don't know. And maybe he's a very nice guy. Maybe there's nothing wrong, like no threat, but you don't know. And just out of an abundance of caution, I mean, I wouldn't want a child waiting by themselves after the rec center's closed in general, regardless of, who's there, because even somebody who doesn't have a mental illness could be dangerous in some sort. So anyways, it ended up keeping me there way longer than I thought I was going to. And it's like, oh, I'm so tired. I just want to go home, spend an hour with Morgan, and then go to bed.
Hey, man, this is the only place to be right now. I love being here.
I'm glad you do, and it's because I'm a delight. So let's be honest, I'm just that wonderful to spend time with. So to that I
It's
say, you're welcome. You're welcome.
it's a hoot and a half. But so you didn't play hopscotch with the creepy weird man?
Hopscotch? Where did you get hopscotch? Does
That's
anybody play
what you do
hopscotch anymore?
with the hobos. That's what I learned from 90s media is you play hopscotch with the local hobo.
Now you're learning me some things because this is news to me.
It's
But
90s media.
speaking of 90s media, that actually reminds me that I wanted to show you something.
Oh,
Do you want to see this? I have a video. It's a really
you have
cool
a
video.
video.
I
Well,
have a
before
video,
you
yeah.
get to a video, maybe we should do some real news?
Yes. Let's do the real
Okay.
news.
Okay, so I cannot keep up with the news fast enough, Jason, it feels like.
Are you, are you gonna say what I think you're gonna say?
I think I am gonna say what you think I'm gonna say because I'm gonna not. It's literally reality TV. It is happening so fast in real time, and I had a whole different thing planned, and then we got more news today. So for all of our viewers, holy crap, so much has happened in like the last 72 hours with the Warner Brothers Discovery deal. So in our last episode, we talked about how Paramount might like steal the deal from Netflix, and it turns out they have officially stolen the deal, and
They did.
Netflix has bowed out. Now, one might see this, look at it, and say, that's it. It's game over. Paramount has WBD under its banner now. But I will remind you that this all started with Netflix proposing a deal and Paramount continuing to try to steal the deal. And I have to believe, because this is my reality TV, so I have to believe that something is going to happen in the future that shakes the whole deal to its core.
You know, what's funny is originally neither Netflix nor Paramount were my prime example. What's funny is originally I was like, I would rather Paramount have it than Netflix. And then Netflix got it.
You did.
And I was
That's
all
true.
torn up about it. And then I thought about it and I thought, you know what? It's not great. I'd rather Warner Brothers be its own thing or Comcast get it. But at least it's not Paramount because a lot of things had changed for me at that point. And I was like, you know what? I guess I'm glad that Paramount doesn't have it. And then it happened. So basically, the moral of the story is if there's a worse scenario for me, that's the only option that can take place from here. So I guess AI, I mean, if I go, at least AI hasn't become sentient and purchased WB. That's going to happen in about, I don't know, 35 minutes because that's how quickly the news cycle goes on this story.
Dude,
so
it's
look
so
forward
fast.
to that. Let's
And
do a real news segment at the end of the show as well when AI has just taken over and Skynet becomes self-aware. It's great.
do you remember way back when we first talked about this, when the whole thing was unfolding in like November or December of last year? I had said that there was a secret fourth option. Do you remember what that secret fourth option was?
Was it Apple?
No, that was your secret option. I said that the whole thing was like not a gag, but that it was a ploy by WBD to increase their stock price and they were just going to ultimately not sell. That was like my secret fourth, like maybe this will happen, guys. That's not going to happen. But I was doing some reading before the episode, and do you know whose stock price has gone through the roof apparently while this whole thing has been unfolding?
Well, Netflix? I don't know.
Netflix. Netflix's stock has apparently gone up by like $10 a share.
They just got like $2 billion. I mean, they're going to get a ton of money because this thing is falling through. Now, that's part of the whole bit. Paramount's got to pay them money just for saying, sorry, thanks for playing.
Yeah, but the deal's
so
not
they still
closed
walk
yet.
away in a better spot.
Right, but the deal's not closed yet. So that boost in stock is not due to the deal. It's due probably to the publicity around the deal.
But them having the framework in place, because that agreement is in there. So it doesn't matter. They had the handshake agreement. Now, if they don't take the Netflix deal, which they're not now, Netflix is going to get that money from someone. So even if the Paramount deal falls through because they stopped Netflix from getting it, they got to pay Netflix that money. And if for some reason somebody else swooped in and sniped it out of Paramount's hands, they would owe Netflix that money instead. So it's they're still getting a couple billion, which, you know, is not a huge amount for a company their size, but still, that's a lot of money.
Right, and that will result, I think, in the stock price going up even more later on down the road. I don't think that accounts for the stock going up at this present moment. But that aside, I just think that that's a funny coincidence that happened. But on the topic of the deal not being closed yet, it's totally possible that the deal still gets stopped by legislation, because only the Netflix deal was being evaluated on antitrust grounds. The Paramount deal, which has only recently reached a handshake agreement, still has to go through the DOJ and, I assume, some sort of congressional or Senate hearing.
It does still have to go through the regulatory process. However, and this is part of the reason why I did not really care for the Paramount deal, they've already been working stuff behind the scenes to get that expedited. So there's an HSR process that typically happens with these when a big company purchases another big company, and it takes about 6 months. Like, that's pretty customary for like a deal this size. Well, Paramount, somehow before they even had an agreement in place, started and has concluded that process behind the scenes, where they did it in like 2 months' time. And it's believed to be because there's, you know, they're very close-knit with a lot of the current administration's people and officials in high places, and they are preferred to get this deal closed. Ted Sarandos met with, you know, people from the president's administration today, and afterwards he said that they weren't going to pursue it. And nobody knows what that conversation looked like except for the people that were in that room. But it is widely believed that he saw that there was going to be a lot of resistance to them closing on it because the preferred suitor was Paramount. So we might see it fast-tracked pretty quickly if that's true.
I still want to see someone else swoop in and sweep WB off their feet.
Let's do it. Can we get a GoFundMe going? Can we raise the money ourselves?
Hey guys, share our video. We can raise, what is it, $90 billion by, next Tuesday?
I mean, that was the winning bid. Paramount is giving them $110 billion. So
crazy. That's so much money. Guys, we can do it. We can make it happen.
Every one of our subscribers donates 1 penny, we'll just need a lot more subscribers.
We will. Just 9 billion of them. That math doesn't check, but I was never great at math. Anyway, let's
9 billion pennies is not the same as $110 billion. Yeah. But, you know,
anyway, I got a couple of other quick hitters for you. These are actual quick hitters. So it is February 26th, and the SAG Awards, now called the Actor Awards, are on Sunday, March 1st. But wait, why did they change the name, Jason? I'm so glad you asked. No one knows. So I looked it up. There's a showrunner named John Brockett and an executive producer named Jo Beth Williams who talked about the name change. And this is what they said, and this is a quote. "We wanted to provide a clearer recognition in terms of what the show is about for our domestic and global audience. We honor actors in film and television. Laser focusing on the name on those two things became the clearest and most straightforward path for this new chapter of the show." Now, I gotta say,
sure,
the Screen Actors Guild Awards which is what SAG stood for, felt pretty laser focused to me. So I don't know about anybody else, but it feels like a step backwards.
All right, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here for a moment, because nobody called it the Screen Actors Guild Award. They called it the SAG Awards. So maybe you can make the case that people did not know what SAG stood for, especially in other markets, if they're trying to broaden who's got interest in it. Maybe that's part of it.
Sure.
But also,
sure.
If SAG is now SAG-AFTRA, because those two guilds merged however many years ago, maybe they felt like just calling it the SAG Awards was limiting the group.
I have never heard anyone be like uppity about the merger between SAG and AFTRA, but maybe. Maybe.
I'm trying to play devil's advocate.
But here
we go. I got it.
Okay.
Sometimes you just gotta make news to get in the news. So maybe they were like, hey, nobody watches our show. Let's change the name and make everybody go, why do they do this? And maybe they'll tune in. Maybe next year we'll see a different one. Maybe they'll go back to SAG Awards. Who knows?
Maybe. But that brings me to my burning question that needs to be answered. Will this be the 32nd Actors Awards or the first?
32nd. That's mine. That's what.
But it's not the SAG Awards.
But if you were to go change your name tomorrow, let's say you're going to go change it to Marcus. It doesn't change your age. You just have a different name.
Yeah,
so if the SAG Awards change their name,
shut up, Jason.
That they've still been a thing. Listen, Marcus.
Moving right along, my last headline for the day is I called it. I was right, and I'm going to take my not-so-victory lap because microdramas are apparently here to stay. Now, if you recall, if you've been following our channel, Jason and I had a very, very long episode one time in the not-so-distant past about how microdramas are taking over. And I was of the opinion that they were addictive and that they were going to seize control of all future media. Jason was not so convinced. Turns out the numbers are not in your favor. Real Shorts, which is the company leading the charge on microdramas, is now officially outpacing everyone. It's outpacing Netflix, it's outpacing Disney, it's outpacing Amazon. They have somewhere in the ballpark of 1 million users in the US, which is not a lot when you consider how many millions of people are subscribed to Netflix and Disney and Amazon and such. So their very small user base is watching an average of 35 minutes per day on their platform. The runner-up position goes to Netflix at a mere 24 minutes per day. So what does that mean? It means our brain...
Is this counting YouTube?
Oh, I don't actually know.
Because I remember when we did this episode before, which I think what do we call that episode? That's why we call it Crispy Trivia. It's because of this episode, because it was the Bringing
it's
Crispy
true, yes.
Bringing Crispy back, the history of digital shorts, or the phenomenon of digital. We had crazy long titles then, but I think at the
which
time,
I was a fan of, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I liked them too, but the problem is that they're so hard to fit on the screen.
That's the point.
But I think at the time, that was part of what we had found, was that when you factor things in like YouTube or Instagram, these are also short form media, and then it kind of changes the landscape of like who the true number one thing is. So I don't know if these have surpassed it or not, and I'm sure that they're doing very well. I have no doubt that the numbers you have are accurate. I still think it will be a bubble because it's only been like a pretty short-term thing. I refuse to accept it as
All
like,
right,
this
well,
is
so
the
how
way
about
forward.
so how about this? How about this? For starters, what this means is all of our brains have just liquefied collectively. That's culture is over. It's time to throw in the towel. But to pile on, every major media company has officially announced, or every major media company I can think of has officially announced that they are introducing TikTok style vertical feeds onto
Sure
their
they are.
platforms.
I'm sure they are. But look, I was around during the .com bubble when everybody was, just freaking out over every online startup, and it was like, this is the future. All these online, and don't get me wrong, online things are still big and they are the future, but not like the .com bubble was, when everything was like, just do make anything, its own website, whatever. Most of those companies failed and they plummeted. Even AI now, like AI is the thing that we are constantly on our high horses about how it's terrible. But these things are also like, everybody is trying to move towards an AI model. But when you look at the numbers, like all of these AI companies are hemorrhaging money. The only way that they're staying afloat is because big businesses keep funding them because they believe it's the future, but nobody's proved that yet. So until we've seen this be a thing for 15 years, 20 years, I mean, we know it's going to stand the test of time. I don't know that I'm convinced. Maybe it doesn't even think 10 years. Let's go 10 years and see if it's
That's wild.
a common thing. This is my litmus test. If I can ask my parents, who have no idea what's going on in pop culture usually, if they know what's going on, then I know something is big. If I was like, Mom, Dad, do you know what vertical
that is a
shorts
good
are? They'd be
litmus
like,
test.
oh.
I definitely disagree that is any form of a reliable litmus test. But what I find so funny about this, I don't know if this ever came up in one of our episodes, but Jason is vocally an early adopter of technology. We've talked about it personally. I don't know if it's come up in one of our episodes, but Jason's an early adopter. And I am not. I would be what you call a normie. I wait until there is a proven track record before I jump on board on something. I don't wait until like the tail end. I'm not a late adopter, but I'm clustered in the middle with all the other average Joes. So I think it's so funny that your stance right now is I'm going to wait until there's a proven track record that AI and real shorts are here to stay. And I find myself very much in the camp of real shorts are not only here to stay, but they will be dominating the market in like 5 years.
Just, I don't know. I don't know that that's true. I think that they're hot right now, but I think something else will. I mean, you have specifically told me multiple times that the future is more raw, authentic stuff, and things are going to be like, the big thing is how social media is going to promote people that don't have high budgets and all that.
Wait. I feel like I need to clarify in this particular moment, because I don't see that as the direction we're headed in terms of the future. That's what I want to happen. And I find that people are pushing, like audiences are pushing for that hashtag made by humans authentic vibe so that they know they're interacting with a person. But that like trend, which fills my feed because I am consciously choosing that
you interact
path
with it, so then the algorithm
right
gives you
I don't know that it's actually gaining any sort of traction though. I fully admit that it is a grassroots type thing right now,
but whether it is or isn't, I don't know either. But what I'm saying is, like, it depends on who you ask, because if you ask some people, they're like, shorts, the shorts are the future, and then you ask somebody else, it's like grounded, unpolished stuff, natural things, that's the future. And those things compete with each other, at least right now, unless the future is unpolished, organic shorts, which then we just go back in time to when YouTube started, because that's kind of what YouTube did originally. It's people just making stupid.
I mean, there's an
videos.
Argument that that's what's happening though. Like, there's an argument for that.
Which it might be. And like, I don't know. Like, look, I only say this because I tried to, because to your point, I'm an early adopter. I tried to get on board with stuff. Mostly because I don't want to be the old person that doesn't know what's going on. So, like, when
I will
new
be
social
that
media
old
things come in,
person. I will fill the role.
dude, if I have ever met a person that was born an old person, it is you. Like, you're just Benjamin buttoning your way through life. But but I tried the shorts thing because it was like, hey, why not? Like, I don't care where the medium is coming from. If it's a good story, it's a good story. And I tried it, and you do a few of them, and it's not for me, and I get that. But I also think that there is a point in which these will just start not being as interesting. They won't be as compelling because they won't be new and fresh anymore. And after you recycle the same thing so many times, you're just going to get tired of like, all right, I get it. There's another dead ex-wife coming back from the grave.
If you want to hear my thoughts on it, I go on and on at length, ad nauseum, in our episode about this. But all I will say is I wish I could take my victory lap, but it just doesn't feel like a win. So I will do my obligatory plea to the audience and just ask for everyone to just demand the content that you deserve, because you deserve better content. Like, you deserve better, guys. You don't have to accept this just crap.
Look, and honestly, there's so many I have not seen, and maybe some of them are great. And if they're great, that's fantastic. I think my bigger thing is I'm just so committed to the idea of film because it's just such a wonderful art form to me that I have a hard time feeling like the shorts will ever fill that void if it goes away.
Get in the comments, guys. Vote Team Morgan or Team Jason. Where do you fall? Do you want better content or not better content?
Shorter content.
Or shorter content. But hey man, that is the real news. I'm Morgan. Now get out there and write about it.
Now I feel like I need to go do something about these shorts more.
Hey man, you do. You need to write your senators, and you need to stop scrolling.
Dear senators, stop the shorts. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just I don't want to yuck anyone's yum, because if people are into that, they're into that, and I don't care. Whatever people want to watch is fine by me. But you know what I want to watch?
That is wild. That is a wild take.
It is a wild take, but I'm full of wild takes today. I'm in a mood, Morgan. Have you noticed? I feel like I'm
clearly
in a mood. But there is something that I want to watch, and I want to show it to you because I came across this a couple of weeks ago, and I almost sent it to you when I saw it, and I was like, nope, this is going to come up at some
Jason,
point.
Jason, if this is in at all a vertical format, literally, I'm going to walk away. I'm going to walk outside. I'm going to beckon the bus.
Hold on. Let me pull that Homer Simpson goes into the bushes thing real quick. No, it's not. It is standard horizontal format, so no worries there. But this is a video I caught a couple of weeks ago. I think this is awesome. I don't know how any human being would think it's not awesome, but who knows? Maybe you won't think it's awesome, and that's okay.
I'm about to fight you, I feel like. I don't even know what this... Guys, full disclosure, I have no idea what this video is.
Morgan has no clue. I told him, like, hey, I'm going to show you a video on the show. And he's like, of what? I'm like, you can't know. But I would like, as I show this to you, I would like you to kind of live react to it. And I think we can keep the audio in. So I don't know if I'll be able to mess with the volume level so much, but like, feel free to just kind of react to it. Whatever goes through your head, whatever you're thinking. If you don't like it, you don't like it. It won't hurt my feelings, but it might a little.
So the goal is to hurt Jason's feelings. Copy.
I didn't say making a goal. If it happened to happen, I'd be okay with it. All right. Feast your eyes on this.
TMNT! TMNT! Oh no, is this the new one?
Have you seen this already?
No, I haven't. But this is the new movie, right?
I'll tell you afterward.
Kind of looks like a video game, though. Doesn't really look like a movie. Oh no, it froze! There we go. Red. Red is Raphael. Guys, I don't know my
Yes.
TMNT.
The red one is
I mean, it's a pretty cool fight scene. Is this just about Raphael and none of the other turtles are in it? Hero Shot. Dawn. It was Raphael, I was right.
Yeah, it was Raphael. Alright, so you had not seen that before, right?
Never.
Was your mind blown? Because my mind was blown when I saw that.
Blown. I don't know about
You're gonna say
blown.
blown out.
Don't know about blown.
Alright, so that was a short, obviously, that was made by John Likens. And I don't know if you know who that is, but he is a director and motion choreographer or motion director of some sort. He does like credits work
Mocap?
on films. I don't think so like he creates credits and sometimes there's like motion to credits. So like he's done famous movies. He works at a studio. I mean, it's been a couple of studios, but he's out in New York. This is like his passion project. And I think it's awesome. I like the tone. I like the vibe. I like the character design because I knew as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, this has got to be somebody who's like late 30s, early 40s and grew up with the original Ninja Turtles movie. So I didn't know at first that it was like a professional in the industry. I thought it was just like some guy at home that was learning how to do this stuff. But he's made 3 of these now. This is the newest one. And you can see in between them how they're getting progressively better. And this is like his passion project. It's almost like his fan film that he's working up towards. And I'm totally here for it. I think it's awesome. And it's really encouraging to me.
Okay, so it's not a movie, it's not a video game. They're just shorts that a guy made.
It's just him.
A guy that I should know, but don't.
I don't know that you should know him. I mean, like he's a professional industry. Like I said, he does opening film sequences. He did the opening title credits for Deadpool 2, Collateral Beauty.
Well, those were great credits.
Yeah, the Deadpool ones, like those are awesome. But he's usually working with a whole team of people, and he leads the team. But this he does himself. He's doing the entire thing. He did, I think, Donatello first, and then Leonardo, now Raphael. And they've gotten progressively more intricate and longer and more interesting. And now everyone has been clamoring for the obvious next one of Michelangelo because it's the only brother that's left. But he would love to turn this into a full movie. And he's gone on record to say, like, hey, look, Paramount, if you ever are in the mood, I'm willing to talk. So I hope it happens.
I feel like this whole thing is setting Morgan up to have the rug pulled out from under him because I feel like the twist here is, and he used AI to make it.
You know, and I knew you were going to go there, and I double checked. I even confirmed that he made that with 3 programs, and I don't remember what the first 2 named, but Blender was one of the 3. Like that is not AI. It is definitely like legitimately made.
So no artists were stolen from in the making of this.
Hashtag made by humans. But also it's just a guy that's doing the thing that he loves and thinks is interesting.
Sure. I mean,
it made me
this makes me think of something that I said in a prior episode. It might have even been the same episode that I ranted about vertical shorts on, which is, this is a guy who is doing a passion project, putting the time, the dedication, the effort into making it himself. I don't know how many hours that equates to, but it cannot be a small sum. And in that episode, I literally said that if you don't pour your blood, sweat, and tears into a project, why should I care about it? And this is the literal manifestation of a man pouring his blood, sweat, and tears into something, and it's so cool. It's really so well made. It's phenomenal. I mean, like the hero shot at the end was so good.
Here's the thing with any kind of passion project, and like this guy has some technical background in there, but even with him, you can see the progress he's making in between these because he's done them a few times. And the first one was cool. Don't get me wrong. It's not as cool as this one. This one's great because he does it, he learns from it, and he gets better at it. And this made me think of how I think that this is the future of our film entertainment because people have access to stuff that they never had access to before. You can get decent cameras as a consumer now. You can get decent editing
Sure.
software. Like people can make this stuff themselves, and I think that's awesome. And it made me think of uh I think it was called Spider-Man Lotus. Did you see that by chance? It's a fan film Spider-Man
Actually,
movie.
that actually sounds vaguely familiar. I've never seen it, but I know it's a fan film.
It came out a few years ago. So it was crowdfunded, and it I think it was like the most expensive crowdfunded movie. Unless I don't know, did Markiplier crowdfund his? He might have. I'm sure he beat it. But
Markiplier spent, I think, 7 million, or was that its box office? I don't remember. I
I
remember
think that was
7 million
its
being the
box
figure.
office. But I don't remember. Did he crowdfund that, or did he just put up the money because
No,
he's that
I
good at
think
it?
he put up the money.
Okay. So Spider-Man Lotus was a fan film where the guy actually crowdfunded it, and people were really interested to see his work. I saw part of it. I started watching it, and it was very boring, and I couldn't finish it. And this is like the thing. Like I give anybody a lot of credit for making their passion come true, and that guy had a lot of stuff that came out about him that he was not the best of human beings. But even aside from that, I'm not going to fault someone for making a project that's less than stellar because it's a learning process. But to make a feature length film, even though it's not great at times, but it's a ton of work, and I give him a lot of credit for that. And if he were to do another one, he probably learned a lot of things along the way. And if you keep at it, he could be a famous filmmaker someday. I mean, because that's how you learn. You have to just kind of do it. I would love to do that. I'm sure you would
Yeah,
too.
it's my dream. I mean, like, if he was not so great of a person, I think it's going to be less likely for him to do it again. But that aside,
Do you have like a dream project, like something you've always like? If you had the unlimited resources, something that you could just call the shots on, build it from the ground up. What would you
yeah,
want to do with that?
sure. I mean, like, I have a project right now that is earmarked as Morgan's dream, like, whatever you want to call it. I I'm in the process of still writing it because my original goal was to write it as a novel series. But I discovered that I'm not the greatest novelist. I'm not so hot at writing books, but I can write scripts pretty solidly. So I've been adapting the idea into a screenplay. If a studio would back the project for financing reasons, I would consider it. But the caveat is it would essentially have to be entire creative control. So that's what I would need in order to partner up with a studio to do it. And if I can't, then I will just do it myself.
That's cool. I mean,
And
do you want to
it would
elaborate about
cost
what the project is, or would
millions.
you not want to share anything?
I don't really. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to share it here.
You're afraid I'm going to steal your idea, Morgan, and that's right because I probably would if it was good. So
I mean, like, if I were gonna partner up with anybody, it would 100% be this guy right here, guys. But
man, we're gonna have so many like started and yet not finished projects at some point. Like it's like her
the
dilemma.
thing
Like,
is,
let's do this.
I
Let's do this.
I have the first 2 episodes written for the episodic. I would like it to follow a more traditional format, although I'm not sure that I can get 24 episodes out of a season. I might do like 16 episode seasons, but the way that I picture it, I'd like it to be 3 to 5 seasons long. And I have the whole arc planned out, but we're literally talking about millions to make this because it's period piece and it's Like the best way that I could describe it would be not like high fantasy, but it's a cross between this like sci-fi genre and Bridgerton, basically. So it's like this period piece that's like set in the future, if that makes any sort of sense. Um, so
It's like an
yeah, it's
alternate future that's kind of like the past.
sort of. It honestly, it's not a fleshed out idea, even though I've been working on it for like 7 years.
A
Uh,
minute ago, you told me you had a whole 5-year, 5-season arc going on. So
like I know where the story starts. I know what conflict I would like to happen in the series, and I know what the resolution is, but it's the minutia of like the day to day. I I had a funny conversation with a teacher of mine in high school where I literally expressed to her, I have the idea in my head. I know what I would like to happen, but it's what the characters say that's getting me. Like, I don't know what they literally say to each other. And she was like, yeah, but that's the story.
the dialogue is often hard because you want to. I mean, we ran into this with our show that we're developing, the No Wonder You're Single show, where you want to tell the story and progress the plot, but also you don't want to be expository, where you're just force feeding the information to your audience because that is no longer interesting. So you need the characters to learn about what's going on in an organic way, where the audience can sometimes know what's going on when a character doesn't, but you want to not just dump info on them because that's terrible writing, and it's very hard to get around that sometimes because you're like, oh, they just need to know this way this other thing makes sense. And you and I had so many late nights where we were like, how do we get from point A to point B, because like we know where we're going, we know what we need there, but we can't just like spit it all out because that's not what a person would do. Like it wouldn't be real, you wouldn't buy into it, it wouldn't make any sense.
This is another thing that that I struggle with because I I have this ability, I think, to visualize what it is that I'm trying to create, save the dialogue. And with No Wonder You're Single, we run into a very specific issue where we're stripped of a particular storytelling aspect that we could leverage in other mediums because of the medium that we're creating it in. With the project that I'm developing, one of the things that I want to be able to leverage is visual storytelling. So, using the setting to be part of the narrative or using the circumstances to tell part of the story. And this is also something that I think in the future is going to be harder to do because we've talked about on this channel about how these big studios are putting an emphasis on second screen viewing, which is like the official terminology that's used for the phenomenon of people watching TV, but being on their phone. So it's
Right, they're
background
not.
noise.
Yeah,
And
it's distracted watching, and how do you make sure people know what's going on without
and
making
I
them
don't
turn away from their phone at the same time.
right. And that's the goal. The goal is how do we craft stories that don't pull people's attention from their phone? Like it's enabling, honestly. It's enabling BS, and I
Yeah.
am not about it. And I've gotten into fights with my dad about this where I'm like, "You're not even watching the show because 'cause I'm always locked in. I'm like, if I'm watching a thing, I am watching a thing. I love movies and TV. I am locked in. But, like, my mom and my dad'll be sitting there and they'll be on their phone, and, of course, I mean, like, I feel like everybody experiences this phenomenon, I'm sure it's not just me, but my mom will look up and she'll be like, "Who's that?" And I'll be like, "What do you mean, who's that? Are we not watching the same show?"
It's it's a weird time that we live in because this seems to be happening more and more, and I don't know how we come back from it other than we make movies that are so good that you don't want to watch your phone. So I feel like Christopher Nolan is single-handedly saving cinema.
The thing is, like, I don't even know that he is because it is hard. It is so hard to do that because of how people's brains have melted. Like, that's the best way that I can put it. Everyone's attention span is so short.
Yeah, it does make me wonder what's going to happen in 15, 20 years from now. Like, if we've already gotten to this point where we can't focus on stuff because we're just used to like scroll next, scroll next, scroll next. What is it going to be like in 10, 15 years? We're going to be talking about
Micro
like,
dramas will be 10 seconds long.
well, I mean, do you remember Vine?
Yes.
So
Yes,
Vine
I
was a thing
do.
for a hot minute there where how long was that? 3 seconds, five
6
seconds, something like
seconds.
that? Is that what it was?
6.
6 seconds. And people loved Vine. And I think was it acquired by Twitter maybe at the time? Twitter
I
bought
don't
it
actually
or
know
shut it
how
down?
Vine died, to be honest. It just one day it was here and then the next it was gone.
I believe that Twitter bought it and shut it down because I think Twitter wanted to incorporate the video technology into their platform. Don't quote me on it. Somebody bought it. I think it was
No,
Twitter. It
quote
could
him,
have been somebody
guys.
else.
Get in the comments. Fact check his ass.
I think it was Twitter though. I think they purchased it and then they shut it down, and people miss it. And at the time, it was like, this is weird, but it's kind of interesting because in order to tell a story in 6 seconds, you have to be very succinct. You have to be very to the point and very creative in order to do that. And there are still, accounts on multiple platforms dedicated to the best vines that have lived
Yeah.
on, even though the platform's gone. But I mentioned this because that was a very short thing, and at the time I was like, oh wow, we're already going down to 6 seconds. And then you have these other platforms that came around, Instagram and Twitter. I mean, remember Twitter used to be what 140 characters you got, and then they expanded. So for a minute, it seemed like the pendulum was swinging the other way, but our attention spans kept going shorter. And I feel like it's only a matter of time before something like Vine comes back because
Yeah.
it's nice, quick, and short. So there we go. We're going to tie this back to your real news. Forget vertical shorts. We're going to vertical blips or whatever we're going to call them, where they're just going to be vertical shorts are going to be too long. A minute is too long for an episode. 6 seconds, go.
See, you say stuff like that, Jason, and it's like you don't even think that these things are going to stick around, but you're already, I think, forecasting what the future incarnation is. And it's just, this is why I think that they're not going anywhere and why they're going to dominate the market because we already have case study for this shit being successful.
Look, part of it, I'm sure a lot of my resistance to it is just wishful thinking that it doesn't last. But it might.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not an expert. I've never run a media company. I don't know.
Jason the Eternal Optimist buddied up with the world's pessimistic realist. It is quite the duo.
I did want to point out though, because I just remembered it now, that did you know that when somebody does, going back to the idea of this video thing and fan films and that sort of thing, did you know that like fan films are like a legal gray area? I
Yes,
didn't
I
know that
did
until
know that.
recently. I guess I never thought about it too much, but apparently you can make fan films and most companies are okay with it, but you're technically not allowed to because it's IP. So like it's just a weird thing where it's like as long as you're not making money off of it, they do usually care.
There's two basic principles that as long as you abide by, you're in the clear. The first is you can't make a mockery of the IP, and the second is that you can't make money off of it. Now, can't make a mockery is sort of loosely defined because you are allowed to do parody and you're allowed to do satire and you are allowed to criticize, so I'm not entirely sure what not making a mockery of something means. But I guess typically that if as long as you don't slander the company, then it's like not an issue. Once you start making money off of it, now you are infringing upon a company's copyright. And generally speaking, in the industry is generally not a good idea to be part of a fan film or a fan project because
I
you
don't know if
don't
that's
know.
true anymore though. because
I mean, it's
I've
been
seen a
true for
lot
my
more
whole career.
I've seen a lot more fan films incorporate like legitimate actors. Like somebody did a fan film of Uncharted and got Nathan Fillion to be involved in it because people were fan casting him for years, and then they decided to give him a call and ask him if he would do it, and he was like, "Sure."
This
Proving
is
once again
where
he's like one of the greatest guys in Hollywood. But
Well,
I
but
mean,
this is where I would have some very legitimate questions about whether or not it's a fan film in the sense that it was a bunch of people who just got together and did it without acquiring the rights. Because if you acquire the rights, you can do whatever you want. The company has sold you the rights.
okay, but yeah, I don't think anybody. I, I think it was a fan film. I don't know why you're jumping to they acquired the rights. I think that they just asked Nathan Fillion to be a part of it because
Did they
he
pay
had been
him?
fan cast. I don't know. I don't think so. If it's a
See, this
fan
is what I
film,
mean.
I
Like, I
can't
just
imagine.
have a bunch of questions about it because when you have someone of note on the project, typically that means it is legitimate to some degree, meaning it's not a fan film. So typically when you have big names attached to a project, you have you have met that bar. So the fact
I
that
don't know.
Nathan Fillion
Sometimes
was involved makes me question whether or not it was actually a fan film.
I'm looking at it now. Apparently, Nathan Fillion was in it. Stephen Lang was in it. Ernie Reyes Jr. was in it. I don't know if these other people are famous actors too, but they had several like legit big stars in it. It came out in 2018. It was about 14 minutes long. Only went to Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube
If it only
critically.
went to if it only went to social media, it sounds like a fan film, but
Yeah, I mean, I think it was. I mean, I always understood it to be a fan film.
it's possible that it is. I'm not making the case that it's not. It's just that typically in my experience, when someone of note is involved with a project, it's usually not a fan film.
Yeah, it was. It did not make any money. It was a promotional nonprofit project. It garnered 2 million views in 2 days, and
Wow, that's a lot.
yeah, and it's. I mean, they're everything I'm looking at is calling it a fan film.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. Like, a studio doesn't want you to do something with its property because they're worried about damaging the brand. But if you can drum up buzz and they can leverage some kind of promotion off of it, they're more inclined to let you do it as long as you're
Sure.
not
I mean,
making
it's
them do
free
something totally
publicity,
crazy.
free marketing.
Yeah.
Like it's
But I think it's
as
also good for like creating brand loyalty too. Like when somebody is, when a company is good at interacting with its customers, I think that that does buy you some sort of, I don't know, what do you like, long term loyalty because you feel more connected to them.
I don't know that that's true.
I think I saw Star Trek, whoever owns the property to Star Trek. I know it's like a CBS or Paramount IP, but I don't know who actually owns it. But they put out like guidelines for how people can use the Star Trek property to make things. Like they have rules where you can crowdfund, but it has to be 50 grand or less. It can't use actual actors from the show. If you have any props, they have to be officially licensed. Like they have a bunch of rules for that, which I think is interesting. And I think
Yeah.
I've heard Doctor Who is the same way, where they encourage fans to make fan cast stuff or fan film stuff. I think I think the Doctor Who project that I was in, it might have been a fan made thing, and I don't even know at the time because I don't watch the main show, so I just assumed it was
Yeah.
whoever makes. I thought it was the same people that made the actual, Doctor Who show, but maybe not. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, like game mods are the same way where you can make a mod for a game as long as you follow that game's mod criteria. So it's a similar concept. And I feel like
Dude,
I
I
want to
saw
be a
I saw I saw the other day somebody. This just showed up in my feed. I don't play PC games. I've never modded anything. I don't know. I won't even know where to begin. But I was scrolling like Instagram or something, and a video came out of somebody playing some newer Resident Evil game, and they replaced the big, tall vampire lady that I don't remember the name of because I've never played that game. But they replaced her with like a giant, overweight Kermit the Frog who was just stalking them. And I couldn't help but think, I'm like, where do people come up with this from? Like, like of all things, whether like I want Kermit in this game. Not only do I want Kermit in this game, but I want him to be pudgy AF. And like they just make it. And then people are like playing it. And it's so bizarre. I love it. I think it's hilarious.
This
But
is
it's so random to me.
it is so funny that like this is something that you like understand, but the idea of Disney installing like OpenAI on their platform so you can make your own episode of a show, you're like not totally not. That's so stupid. Like it's the
No, I think
same
it's totally
thing.
different. No, it's totally
How
different.
is
First
that?
of all, no. So first of all, everybody knows that a mod is not like the actual thing. It is legitimately called a mod, short for modification. So you know that what you're seeing is not canon to whatever you're doing. Secondly, it's not impacting the story, it's just impacting the visual. Where if you're going to have somebody hop onto Sora and make their own episode of whatever Disney property, you are making a story element to it that can derail the actual story.
Not
You know,
canon. I
take
don't know. Like
but
I
that
guess
takes people to know if it's canon or not. Like they have to do homework to figure out, like, oh, like I see this new,
so
I don't know,
your
insert
so
Disney
your
property
issue is
here.
the issue is the barrier of knowledge.
It's the it's in part the barrier of knowledge, but also I like the medium is different. So when you are just watching a story, the whole purpose of watching something, whether it is a short
Guys,
or a
I have opened a
movie
whole
or a
can
TV
of worms
show,
because we're so far
of
down the
course,
rabbit hole already.
that's what we're going to call this episode. We're going to call it Rabbit Hole, and it's just us all over the place. And but the whole purpose is that you're supposed to be sitting back enjoying a story. With the game, it's to play the experience, and the story is untouched. Regardless of Kermit the Frog chasing you or the big vampire lady,
Disagree that the story
it's
is
still
untouched.
the dialogue's all the same. The
Yeah,
plot
but
is all the
Kermit is
same.
saying it.
Okay,
I
the character is aesthetically different. I'll give you that, but it doesn't change what happens in the game. It's just goofy. I I would prefer to play it the real way, but like I like finding a video of it. I don't know.
I think that they're the same. I would be
Of
curious
course
to
they are.
know if anybody else sides with Jason. Get in the comments, Team Morgan or Team Jason.
Silly. I've also seen one where I don't know what game it was, but they put Michael Jackson in there, and it's like a game where you're supposed to be followed by mannequins. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's another spooky game where you're walking through like a very dark building, and there's just nondescript mannequins. And if you look at them, they stop moving. But if you turn away, they get closer to you. I don't know what
Oh,
game this is called,
I don't know what game. I don't know what the name of the game is, but
but you know what I'm talking about.
I've seen like people playing through the game. Yeah.
I've seen clips of people where they have changed the mannequin to be Michael Jackson. And again, it's just so random. Like, what? How
That
did
one's not
I want
random
to know
though.
how we get from one place to another? How did somebody go, I want to change this game, but I want Michael Jackson to chase me?
Yeah, I don't think that one's random. The Kermit the Frog one I will give you. That one is random. I don't think the changing the mannequins to Michael Jackson is random.
Okay, how was it? How was
Because
it
that dude
predetermined?
was creepy AF. And did you see the documentary about him? He did a lot of very sketchy things.
Sure, okay. I'm not saying he wasn't creepy, but how did somebody go? I got it. The mannequins should now be Michael
Because
Jackson.
mannequins are. Have you never seen a mannequin in your life?
All right, story time. True story. When I was a kid, my brother and I used to get dragged to the clothes shopping store like every other little kid when my parents needed us to go, pick out school clothes or whatever. And we used to do this thing where we would find the mannequins and we would go pose still like next to them. I've never been so still in my life. And this is not just like little kid memory time, but we legitimately fooled multiple people into thinking that we were part of this, like the setup thing. It was like our favorite thing to do. We would just show up. I don't remember how old I was, 10, 12, something like that. And we would, pose with the existing mannequins and just wait for people to, stop and like look and check out whatever, and then move. And oh my God, I became like those awful like prank memes that you see online that I can't stand now. That I guess I started them. So I'm sorry.
Guys, Jason started the one thing he hates most in this world,
There's
pranks.
a lot of things I hate as well. Yeah, pranks.
More than pranks?
It was all the good fun, right, Morgan? It's all
It was all
harmless.
in good fun. Check out that episode. That's what was that? Our Christmas episode?
I was gonna say, I think that was a Christmas episode. We had like a 20-minute argument about pranks, and then cut like 19 minutes of it. So
Yeah,
it'll be fun bonus content one day.
But actually, I I don't know why I had this thought when you said story time, but to kind of sort of tie up our convoluted episodes for this week, my gift to you guys today, look up Vine story time with I forget what his name is, but I think his name is Thomas. Look up Thomas Vine's story time. That is my gift to you. You can look up the compilations; they're on YouTube.
No context for what this is. Just
have a laugh.
Okay. Before we get out of here, do you want to do a crispy trivia?
Oh, that's right, crispy trivia.
I got a fun one for us today too. So,
I disagree.
All right. Well, we'll see how it goes. We're gonna do a crispy trivia whether you like it or not. So
okay,
here goes nothing.
Crispy trivia.
All right, so for today's crispy trivia, I want to do this sort of like, what do you call it, $1 Million Pyramid? Did you ever see that show? It used to be on back in the day. It was an old game show, and I think they're reviving it now because I've seen recent clips for it. But basically, I will give you a word.
Okay.
Actually, there's going to be a word. I will give you clues for that word, but I can't say the word. You have to figure out what I'm talking about based on the clues I give you, and you only get like 30 seconds to get all 6 questions right.
Crispy trivia is transforming very quickly into crispy screw Morgan over.
Didn't you do pretty well at the last one?
I don't think so. For starters, I didn't get all 5 questions because I ran out of time. And 3 out of 5 of them, I think I got 0 points. No, 2 out of 5 of them, I got 0 points, which is not a good track record.
And I'm mistaken. I did look it up just now. It's 60 seconds. So you get 60 seconds. I think you'll be fine. I know I said that before.
Can I get an extra 30 seconds for internet lag? Can I get a grace?
You cannot. You're going to have to do it. You're going to have to do it legit. All right. So... okay, so again, to recap, I'm going to give you clues. I can't say the word, but I got to get you to guess what the word is. When you get it, we will move on to the next one. If you can get 6 of them, you will win the game.
Okay.
All right. I'm
gonna say right now, I'm gonna bet on, not like, I guess on myself. I'm gonna bet like for the house, I guess. I'm gonna bet on the house that I get none of these. I'm gonna get so stuck on the first one. It will take me 60 plus seconds to get the first one. That is my bet right now.
All right, well, what do you want to bet? You want to bet?
12 cents.
Anyway, we digress. Okay, I have 60 seconds on the clock, and I am going to start it. And then I will I'll start giving you the clues. So you can just jump in at any time. You don't have to wait for me to stop giving clues, but I only have like 5 clues for each one. So I'll start throwing words at you to try to get you to guess. And if you get it, I'll let you know.
Are you giving me singular words, or are you giving me like phrases to describe the thing?
I'm just giving you clues. It could be words.
It could be any clues.
I just can't use the word itself. I'm just trying to get you to guess a word.
So you can use all the other words in the English language except that one.
Correct.
Cool.
All right.
Is
Are
it?
you ready?
No.
Then let's play some Crispy Pyramid. All right. This is a movie. This is what they call a movie that makes a fortune at the box office. Often in the summertime, it'd be something like Titanic or Barbie.
Blockbuster.
Yes. Okay. This next one. It is a quick surprise appearance from a famous
Cameo.
person. Yes. This is an ending that leaves you looking for more. It's on the. It's how vertical shorts
cliffhanger.
work. Yes. This is a type of scene that goes back in time where
Flashback.
you see something. Yes. This is what you call a movie that comes in succession to another movie.
Sequel.
So it's yes. And then this is a short preview of a movie that you hate
Trailer.
to go watch when you're at the theater. There you go. You did it. You have won the pyramid. And now you officially owe me 12 cents.
That's true, I do. That's actually, I'm shocked. You described those things quite well, but also, I guess, because they're very film-centric, they gave me a little bit of an advantage. But I am genuinely surprised at how well that went.
You know, I have learned from week to week that there are some things Morgan enjoys and there are some things that Morgan doesn't enjoy. If I ask you traditional trivia questions about things, about like movies and film, you often have not seen the movies or film. It makes it difficult for you to answer them, and you don't enjoy that. So I am trying to cater to my audience.
That's fair. I appreciate that. Although sometimes I feel like it's probably good to do a traditional trivia so that everyone in the audience can laugh at me.
Be careful what you wish for, sir. All right. Well, I think that that's a wrap on this week's episode of the cast, Backstage Banter. So until next time, keep the reel rolling, and we'll catch you in the next scene. Bam!
That's a cut.
Nailed it!
Nailed it!
Nailed it!
That's a cut.
Woo!